Right. Oh, hello, you're back again. Welcome back to part 3 of the engine build. Today we're going to be fitting the top end, setting the squish, making sure the transfers are in the right place, and making sure that this is going to go as fast as possible. Right, let's get on with it. TS1 reads on a read block, and we were checking it out just now, and we noticed just here that one of the reeds is broken. Probably see a bit of that like that. So we're going to have to replace them when we put them back in. But in the meantime, we're going to start building this engine. Right, so the first thing that we're going to do is sort of dry build it. So I've deliberately taken the rings off the piston and no circlets in the gudgeon pin, so that we can move it around and adjust it however we want to. We could put 2 of the studs in just to locate the barrel properly, and then that'll give us a guide as to where we're going and what we're doing. Right, so that's the small end and piston temporarily fitted. I'm going to temporarily fit a couple of these studs just so that we can line things up really, and that'll just give us an indication as to what we're up to. Put a bit of oil in the barrel. So that it's not all dry. Right, yeah, let's have a look and see where we're at. Okay. Rightio. So what I'm going to check for now is to see where my transfers are when the piston's at bottom dead centre. Yeah, that's about right. Sometimes you need to put a gasket on. Sometimes you need a packer if you're running a longer con rod. But do you know what? This is pretty spot on as it is. So now I know where the transfers are going to be in relation to the piston, and whether I need a base gasket or a packer. I can now put the new rings on, put the circlips in, get all that done, get the studs in properly. Here's a little tip for you. When you're putting in the circlips into the gudgeon pin, stuff some rag down here, and that way if it drops it doesn't go in the crank and you haven't got to take it all apart again. Another tip for you with these gudgeon pin circlips is, once it's clipped in, is just to try and rotate it around to make sure it's actually in that groove properly, and it ain't going to ping out. Okay. That's the barrel on. Right, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to set the squish, and to do that, well, there's a couple of methods really. If you get Sticky's book, this is my well thumbed original one. There's 2 methods according to this. There's this sort, which is a single bit of solder wire. Downside to that is apparently the piston can rock, but hey, it's a road engine, not a full race. Or the more accurate way is the 2 bits of wire where there's no piston rock, and apparently it gets you a better squish. We're going to use this method because I like it, and for that we're going to use some solder. one of these, which is a digital vernier, and we'll measure the thickness of the solder once we've put the head back on and torqued it down. Right, so you want to get the head, put it on, get your head bolts, doesn't really matter at the moment which one's gone where. Tighten them up, torque them down, and then we can start setting the squish. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so that's the head torqued down, 20 newton meters. Right, so I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but I'm just twisting the solder. Might be a bit thick actually, I might have gone a bit crazy with that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut that bit off, put it down the plug hole, go to top dead centre so it squishes the end, and then we'll measure it. So as we turn this, it goes past top dead centre and then down, squashes the solder, and then we can take a reading off the solder and see what the squish is. Right, so that's the solder gone into the plug hole and pushed to the back of the head. And I can feel the top dead centre, you can see the piston going up and down. We'll just try and go it over. And now we have a squashed piece of solder. Ta-da! Get the vernier calipers, make sure they're zeroed. And we'll give them a measure. And you can see on there, it's about 0.84. Right, so after thinking about it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a head gasket on it, 0.5, and then that'll give us 1.36 squish. Just err on the side of caution. So that's going to go on. You'll probably use a bit of seal around it. But we're just going to put it on, double check it, and make sure that it's where we need to be. Right, that's going to be it for this video. So we've achieved quite a bit. We've got the head back on, all torqued down, the squish is all set, new reeds are in, the reed blocks in, manifolds on. We've just done a leak down test using one of these kits you can get off of Daryl Taylor. They're very good, I'd highly recommend them. Very reasonable money. Thanks very much for watching. Maybe give us a subscribe, definitely give us a thumbs up. Why not post some comments below on what you're building and what you're hoping to achieve. That's it for now, we'll see you in the next one. Keep your eyes peeled for the new 83 Shedtune engine scooter, because I've picked it up and I will be test riding it very soon to just see how mental it is. Right, that's it. Cheers. Bye.